is the third day of the Democratic National Convention here in Chicago. And yesterday, Vice President Harris ceremonially received the party nomination for president, but not before delegates got low with rapper Lil Jon. But Harris wasn't there for that party. She was holding a rally in Milwaukee at the Fiserv Forum, where Republicans held their convention last month. But the Obamas were here in Chicago, speaking as if the Biden-Harris administration hasn't been in control for nearly 4 years.
We do not need 4 more years of bluster and bumbling and chaos. We have seen that movie before, and we all know that the sequel is usually worse. America's ready for a new chapter.
We love a familiar feeling that's been buried too deep for far too long. Hope is making a comeback.
The crowd chanting back, "Do something," and the Trump team responding, quote, "Are they aware that their party has been in charge of the country for the last 3.5 years?" And speaking of former President Trump.
I heard someone compare Trump to the neighbor who keeps running his leaf blower outside your window every minute of every day. From a neighbor, that's exhausting. From a president, it's just dangerous. The truth is, Donald Trump sees power as nothing more than it means to his ends.
Today, we will hear from former President Bill Clinton, former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, and Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg. They will lead up to the headliner of the night, Harris running mate Minnesota Governor Tim Walz. Walz will address the party and formally accept the Democrat vice presidential nomination.
Hey, hey, guess what day? Guess what? Guess what? Trump's engine is running. His leaf blower is blowing. In Kamala's blow, it's stunning. You can still hear her complaining and cackling. Whoa, whoa. Yay, hey. Guess what day? Everything will be okay. Guess what? Guess what day? What day it is? It's hump day. Get it on. Hump day.
You're inside the Benny Bunker. What's up, people? How we doing? I'm not a good dancer. Doesn't matter how long I spend on the south side of Chicago, I will not be a good dancer, and that's okay. I own it. Can the DNC own anything? Will they own Kamala Harris and the Biden record? No, they won't. They've banished Joe Biden, and Barack and Michelle Obama did the final backstab. But what do people in Barack Obama's neighborhood think of him? This show exclusively found out, and we'll show you that clip today, Wednesday, August 21st, 2024, joined also by the great Donald Trump Jr. and Congressman Mike Walz in person. We are here to talk about the DNC convention inside of the Benny Bunker in downtown Chicago. My name is Benny Johnson, and this is The Benny Show. Turning Point Action is the organization where you can get all of the action when it comes to filling out and chasing ballots. This is how we lock it in. 70 days left. The cringe fest of the DNC is sinking Kamala Harris in the polls. I am becoming more and more convinced that Kamala Harris, they're not actually running a real campaign for president. That all of this is done simply to save the down ballot candidates. And this is how we make that a reality. We chase ballots. We affect who is actually voting because there are more of us than there are of them. You're not going to believe what we found here in Chicago. You are not going to believe it. There are so many Republicans and Trump supporters here in Chicago. Have they ever been contacted by a Republican? Have they ever been sought out by a Republican? This is why we're partnering with Turning Point Action. Go to tpaction.com/100 and you can help make sure that we take this country back and that the majority rules in this nation. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, okay, here we go. Barack Obama last night sets the internet ablaze? No, he did not. I totally disagree with this headline. Here's the headline from the Daily Mail. Sets the internet ablaze? No, man, he does not. Everyone was sleeping last night. We were live for the speech, and it was, man, it was like a snoozer. It was every Obama speech you've ever heard, right? Racial division, hoaxes, lies, genuflection, and fake accents, right? That, I mean, you learn in Hawaii or wherever. No, man. Kamala Harris, accent fake. Barack Obama, accent fake. She grew up in Quebec, Canada. When you hear Kamala Harris talking, remember, Quebec, Canada. That's where she was raised. Kamala Harris, parlez-vous français instead of parlez-vous ghetto. Either way, it's all fake. And this is what you saw last night. It was fake with Barack Obama. Barack Obama and Michelle Obama decided to get up on stage and go hard in on President Trump. President Trump, again, was mentioned or name-dropped or referred to over 100 times. 100 times from the stage last night. No vision casting for what they're going to do to fix the economy or fix any of the problems, because they are the problem. Not a single policy that would help out regular American people. Only policies to hurt people, like taxes on unrealized capital gains. Insanity, by the way, breaking at time of show. The economy is imploding again. Yeah, I mean, sure, like maybe stocks are up, but who does that benefit overall when the Fed has revised job numbers down by almost 1 million jobs? So they've been lying to you. So this is also fake as well. I don't know if we have a reference article for this, but it's just worth, off the top. The Fed just revised job numbers down by 1 million jobs. So it's all been fake. Everything's fake. And what is the age-old question? Are you better off than you were 4 years ago? And this is the thing I can't wrap my head around. And we're going to play you the Obama clips, but this is the big takeaway from today. This party of self-loathing is clearly also a party with amnesia, like some type of horrible case of amnesia. U.S. job growth could be revised down by 1 million. Yeah. It's all been fake. Like, they're fake. It's a fake economy. It's fake jobs. They're a fake campaign. I don't think they're actually running a real campaign. Kamala is sinking as this DNC. As people actually tune into the DNC, it's hurting the campaign. Instead of what happened with President Trump, where he opened up 10-point leads on everyone, Kamala Harris's chances are now flipping in multiple states. We'll cover in the polls in a second. But this is the thing I can't get out of my head. I can't get out of my head how Barack Obama and his party have been in power for 16 out of the last 20 years. So in the last 20 years, they've been in power for 16 of them. For 12 of them, for 12 out of the last 16 years. And what? Like, exactly. Can you explain this to me? Like, and what? You can do you can do slide rule math here, where you can look at Democrat majorities and supermajorities in Congress, right, and in the Senate, and so you can argue that that's power as well. But having the executive branch for 12 out of the last 16 years, so that means that they are responsible for the vast majority of the state of the country. Pretty much everything that you don't like about this nation has been brought to you by Barack Obama, Kamala Harris, and Joe Biden. They're the ones who've been in power. There are a lot of people. I got guys on staff right now who are like in their young 20s. They've literally lived their entire lives virtually under Democrat control in the country. And I'm telling you, life sucks right now for a young person. Life sucks for an old person. Life sucks for everybody in the country. We can prove that, actually, empirically. And so this is the thing I can't get my head around. How do you make the case, then, that you give a speech about how much everyone's suffering? Michelle Obama is all like race grievances, right? Economic grievances. I can't, boom, clap, I can't believe this, how horrible life is for everyone in America. You've been in power. Woody says this to Buzz in Toy Story. You are a toy. And it's like, I couldn't get it out of my head last night. Like, how do you make the case? What they should be doing, and I think they're a little too smart. They are good at PR. They're a little too smart. We're better, but they are good. Boy, wait till we run things and we're press secretary. Then everything will really change. But they're good. They know they can't run on the record. So they run against Trump. And they run against boogeymen and ghosts. They're ghost chasers. Look, there's inequality, or there's inequity would be the actual term. Inequity in the society. Well, of course there's going to be inequity. That's the way God made us. God didn't actually create all of us equal. We have equal value morally, but I'm not 7 foot tall. I can't play in the NBA. I can't play in the NFL. I'm not equal with those guys. That is just not equal. I would get destroyed with probably a high school basketball team. I have no talent in that. That's not equal. There's going to be inequalities in the world. That's the way the world is designed. So they're fighting against that. They're saying that is evidence of some type of great moral evil, and that we're somehow not responsible for the last 20 years. I don't know how you message around that. I guess there are people dumb enough, you go to SeaWorld and you watch the seals and they get out the chum bucket and they shake the dead fish, and that's what they're doing at the DNC. They're shaking the dead fish. Blah, 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 blah. And the seals clap, right? The seals at SeaWorld will clap for that. So that's what we got last night, shaking the old dead fish. So let's go ahead and jump into a little bit of the cringe from the top line of last night. So here we go. For some reason, we have Chuck Schumer dancing. I don't know why. There's always a Chuck Schumer dancing clip. In my feed. Here we go. Oh no. Oh my goodness. Why? I know my limits. Okay? I know my limits. What is this? What is this? What is this? That's dude, you're from New York. That's like an Appalachian dance. This is like the dance this is how J.D. Vance should have came on stage. Messaging from the DNC. Really special. Okay, so we have super awkward, super cringe white guys. And that, I guess, is, provable with Doug Emhoff's speech last night. This is Kamala Harris's husband, and really exciting stuff here from Doug about how he met Kamala Harris. Here's their love story.
I walked into a contentious client meeting. We worked through the issue, and by the end of the meeting, the now happy client offered to set me up on a blind date, which is how I ended up with Kamala Harris's phone number. Now, for general have debated when to call the person you're being set up with. And never in history has anyone suggested 8:30 a.m. And yet, that's when I dialed. I got Kamala's voicemail, and I just started rambling. Hey, it's Doug. I'm on my way to an early meeting. Again, it's Doug. I remember I was trying to grab the words out of the air and just put them back in my mouth. And for what seemed like far too many minutes, I hung up. By the way, Kamala saved that voicemail, and she makes me listen to it on every anniversary.
So Kamala behaves like a psychotic ex-girlfriend and takes humiliating moments and plays them for people. We've also learned from Kamala's friends that she drunk dials people on her birthday and sings them happy birthday. We have the clip. Kamala's like best friend, if these people are capable of such things. She says, Kamala drunk dials me and then sings me happy birthday on her birthday. These are totally normal people. Kamala Harris was not allowed to be in the same room as Barack Obama last night, apparently because Joe Biden is still so furious at being pushed aside. According to reports, Joe Biden is so angry at being pushed aside that they decided not to have Kamala Harris and Barack Obama appear together on stage or in any room. So Kamala Harris phoned in last night from about 90 miles away for a Kamala Harris event. This event was at the Fiserv Forum. This is where the RNC had their convention. And the differences are quite stunning. Here we go.
The delegates at the Democratic National Convention, well, they just completed their roll call. And they have nominated Coach Walz and me to be the next Vice President and President of the United States of America.
Please let it all be fake. Kamala Harris is sinking in the polls right now. I don't want to give you any false hope, but like things are definitely normalizing in the race. Please tell me that this is a fake candidacy. Please tell me that like some of the instinct I'm getting and some of the smarter people that I'm talking to, like that they know that they're doomed and that they're just trying their hardest to like save. The goal here is to save Trump from having a supermajority in the House and in the Senate. That's what the smart money tells me. That Kamala Harris is there to like save down ballot people and like drag in low propensity or lobotomized voters who will clap like the seals. We'll see. We'll see. The new messaging on Donald Trump. Trump is a communist. Yeah, we got that last night. So a party that is right now talking about price controls for your groceries, which, by the way, will lead to the destruction of all of your groceries and effectively government takeover of all farmland. That's what price controls always lead to. This has been tried 100 times in human history. It leads to shortages and empty shelves and people starving. The party that's pushing for price controls, Venezuela-style, Cuba-style, Soviet Union-style price controls. The party that's pushing for taxes on unrealized gains. Now, what that means, and it's pretty simple economics, unrealized gains, like you buy a house, your house appreciates, you don't get that money. That's just it's on paper appreciation. That money's not in your bank account, but you're gonna have to pay taxes on it. It's going to be wealth theft on a stage, unseen in humankind, and they're going to take people's homes. That's the goal of this. The people who day trade and who know the hedge funds, who know how to do carry trades and know how to get into foreign market, they won't have to pay the taxes. You'll pay the tax. You'll lose your house. This is what they're pushing right now. Government takeover of food supply and private property. What does it sound like? Kamala Harris's father is a Marxist professor. Barack Obama, of course, learned under the tutelage of multiple Marxists. This sounds like Marxism. Walks like a duck. Talks like a duck. It is a red duck. And so these people are ducking crazy, and they are now calling. They're doing an Uno reverse card. I know you are, but what am I? They're pulling that out on Donald Trump. Here we go.
Let's be serious. Donald Trump and his minions call Kamala a communist. I know communism. I fled communism from Nicaragua when I was 8 years old. I don't take it lightly. And let me tell you what communist dictators do. And it's never just for one day. They attack the free press. They call them the enemy of the people, like Ortega does in Nicaragua. They put their unqualified relatives in cushy government jobs so they can get rich of their positions, like the Castros do in Cuba. And they refuse to accept legitimate elections when they lose and call for violence to stay in power, like Maduro is doing right now in Venezuela. Now, you tell me something. Do any of those things sound familiar? Is there anybody running for president who reminds you of that? And I know one thing, it's not Kamala Harris.
Okay, so this is what working for Jeb Bush does to you. This is the lady who worked for Jeb Bush. This is it. This is end stage Jeb. This is end stage Jeb exclamation point. Please clap. And that Anna Navarro, she's apparently a Republican. She goes on CNN, says she's a Republican. This is the greatest grift in all of media. Are these people? It's amazing how there is absolutely no representation in the corporate press of actual America First. We're going to be joined today by Don Jr., Mike Walls, congressmen who are actually America First, and we're doing our best to recreate the media and tell you the true stories that the media won't tell you. Wait till you see what we did in Barack Obama's neighborhood. It's going insanely viral right now, and getting the attention of some of our very special friends like Elon Musk. Okay, so here we go. Last night, the reason why we went to Barack Obama's neighborhood is because last night, Barack Obama and Michelle Obama predictably pushed racial hatred and class warfare. Now, this is something that they've been doing ever since they got in office in 2008. Again, they have been in control. Barack Obama is the only president, I think the only president in American history, who has stayed in Washington, D.C. The first thing Obama did was buy a townhouse down the street from the White House to run a shadow government in Washington. This is the first thing he does after leaving office. He buys a townhouse. Let's go. I want the prices of, okay, producers, send me the prices of the homes. I want the prices of all of his homes. I'm going to show you really quickly. Here we go. Here's Barack Obama's home in Martha's Vineyard. This is, give me the prices of all these. This is a $10 million house in Martha's Vineyard. Here we go. So here's one of his homes. Let's scroll through there. You guys should be able to, you guys should see, get a load of this. Oh, wow. Private beaches. It's on like 30 acres. It's got 10 bedrooms. Holy moly. This is Barack Obama. This is just one of his private homes. Show me the one in D.C. I want the one in D.C. Where's the one in Washington? Because he bought a home down the street from the White House in the most expensive neighborhood in all of Washington. And he paid another $10 million for that home. That's a mansion. Then Barack Obama bought a $2 million home here in Chicago. And then he bought a home on a private island in Hawaii that he destroyed. Okay, so he ripped it up, and he's now destroying the beaches in Hawaii. Obama just bought this $8.1 million home. Let me see the headline here. This is from like 10 years ago. So this home is probably a $20 million mansion now. So this is the other castles-like mansion that the Obamas own. The Obamas have private chefs. The Obamas have private beachfront properties all across the world. Michelle Obama charges $1 million per speech. $1 million per speech. Here, I want to prove this to you. Here we go. Michelle Obama takes $750,000 for a 1-hour speech. There you go. Okay, so not $1 million. $750,000. All right, interest rates, round up. So this is the family, and I have a bunch of photos of them on yachts in Greece, and these giant yachts that are bigger than 5 of my houses, right? I live in just like a normal house. You probably live in a normal house in America. So the Obamas, this is how they live. Michelle Obama has the cheek to walk on stage last night and say, and I quote, I'm suspicious of people who take more than they need. Here we go. Postmenopausal Michelle Obama talking about how greedy some people can be from like her private jet crisscrossing the country between beachfront mansions. Go.
You see, my mom, in her steady, quiet way, lived out that striving sense of hope every single day of her life. She believed that all children, all people have value, that anyone can succeed if given the opportunity. She and my father didn't aspire to be wealthy. In fact, they were suspicious of folks who took more than they needed. They understood that it wasn't enough for their kids to thrive if everyone else around us was drowning. So my mother volunteered at the local school.
Oh, well. It's not enough for somebody to be successful if everybody else is drowning. Get a load of this. Here's the Obama's mansion that they have in Hawaii, where there is a massive petition out. This was, by the way, in the height of COVID. Barack Obama making everyone else wear a mask when he refuses to. The Obamas are desecrating the shoreline of Hawaii, something that you're not allowed to do, something that is illegal, but they get around it, and are building themselves another massive mansion by desecrating the environment there in Hawaii. You can see the construction site here. They've got an exemption from Hawaii's environmental laws in order to desecrate the shoreline and to destroy the environment forever. And meanwhile, while the locals are drowning, literally drowning in the Lahaina fires, in the Maui fires, drowning or burning alive. It is too perfect. So they bought this property, demolished the house, and are now on their have used political cronyism to destroy Hawaii's pristine shoreline and build themselves another mansion. This is the reality of Michelle Obama, and also the audacity of these people to compare Donald Trump to a communist dictator. This is actually what communist dictators do. Donald Trump actually built real buildings. We're inside one right now. He built real buildings, real businesses, and they're really successful. The Obamas have done nothing other than live off the taxpayer dole their entire life. This is all funded by the taxpayers. All of this is funded by the American people. They are scamming and shilling and scheming off of their political offices. This is it, and political power. And this is what it buys you. But at the DNC, the SEALs, they shake the chum bucket and the SEALs clap. Whew, man, it makes me so angry when you actually look at it. By the way, just real quick aside, this is the Martha's Vineyard. This is the Martha's Vineyard that had some criminal aliens sent up to it by Ron DeSantis in the state of Florida. And the Obamas, who live on a palatial 30-acre estate here with multiple bedrooms in a mansion that probably sits empty most of the year, they didn't open up their home. Not once did the Obamas open up their home to a migrant. Isn't that strange? A lot of talk about leaf blowers. A lot of talk about being good to your neighbors and sharing the wealth, yet not a single migrant was welcomed onto the Obama compound. That's like half of Martha's Vineyard. Strange that. It's very, very interesting. So I just want you to see it through that prism, okay? Here we go. Michelle Obama going after generational wealth, because the goal of all of this, by the way, the goal of communism is to ensure that everybody dies penniless, that you have nothing to pass on to your children, that there's no point in working, there's no point in actually like doing or building anything. The government is going to own you and take everything. And so it's best to just kill your human desire to leave something to your family. Remarkable how this is the number one motivator throughout all of history. People who've studied this actually say, like, even in the Soviet Union, leaving your children something, passing something down through your heritage is the only motivator for anybody to actually work under these systems. And so here's Michelle Obama going after that single motivator. This has been proven in studies in the old Soviet Union. Here's Michelle Obama going after that single motivator, saying, no, we should now attack generational wealth. We're now going to take what you've earned and make sure you can't give it to your children. It's called death tax, probate. Like, they already make it hard enough. Michelle Obama saying, no, we're going to make it impossible. Watch.
We will never benefit from the affirmative action of generational wealth. If we bankrupt a business or choke in a crisis, we don't get a second, third, or fourth chance. If things don't go our way, we don't have the luxury of whining or cheating others to get further ahead. No. We don't get to change the rules so we always win. If we see a mountain in front of us, we don't expect there to be an escalator waiting to take us to the top. No.
We don't have the luxury, ladies and gentlemen, says Michelle Obama. Here you go. Here's Michelle Obama's luxury, all right? Did our research for this show. Here's your luxury. Here are some of Michelle Obama's luxuries that she has. Here actually literally are third and fourth homes that she can fall back on. Look at this. Just the blatant disrespect. At least Donald Trump doesn't act like a poor person, right? Isn't it nice to have like the authenticity of President Trump? Like we are live right now from beautiful Trump Tower. We are here inside of this magnificent, shiny building. I would argue the best building in all of Chicago. And we are built by the same people, the same architects who built the Burj Khalifa. It really is a gorgeous, gorgeous property. Donald Trump doesn't try and hide the fact that he's a billionaire and he builds beautiful buildings. In fact, this is why people like him. The Obamas, on the other hand, are so morally bankrupt, truly, so depraved. They think you're such an idiot. They think you're so dumb. They think you don't have a Google. You don't have a phone. You can't look like this and see their multiple mansions. They lie to you. At least Trump doesn't lie to you. Trump's like, I'm a billionaire, I'm rich. Okay, that's nice. That's authenticity. At least they don't lie to you. Man, it is a despicable practice. They must think so little about their voters. Barack Obama then takes the stage and does the exact same thing, okay? Does the exact same thing. Talking about how great everything's gone and how actually it was like all the bad things we can pin on Trump, who was in office for barely a day before we launched an investigation into him that I approved, Crossfire Hurricane, that I came up with. Barack Obama was briefed on Crossfire Hurricane and gave the approval for them to launch a spy operation on President Trump to launch the Russiagate hoax. Barack Obama is singularly responsible for, something that really did hamper and hamstring the Trump administration from getting things done. This was all anyone could talk about. They should have been talking about Trump's victories and Trump's wins, and instead all anyone could talk about were the hoaxes that Barack Obama planted and approved on Donald Trump. So Trump wasn't able to get really a lot done because of this, because of Barack Obama and his hoaxes. Not as much as they wanted to, and they'll tell you that. Anybody from the Trump campaign will tell you that. So the man who did that is now saying that everything wrong in the country is Trump's fault. Truly, they must think that all of us are like helmet-wearing, deeply low-functional individuals who can't breathe unaided. Watch.
We do not need 4 more years of bluster and bumbling and chaos. We have seen that movie before, and we all know that the sequel is usually worse.
So I have a conspiracy theory here. I think he was talking about Joe Biden there. I think that's what he was talking. I think he was talking about Joe. I think he was saying bluster and bumbling and a bad sequel. This from the guy who orchestrated the shivving of Joe Biden and dumping him in the East River. This, ladies and gentlemen, is Barack Obama. Barack Obama also talking about kids in cages. Amazing. Because we can prove to you that Barack Obama is the person who built the cages for the children. Here we go, from Snopes. This is why I say Barack Obama peddles in racial hoaxes, right? He says Trayvon Martin. In the Trayvon Martin thing, he says, Trayvon Martin, if I had a son, Trayvon Martin would be my kid. He'd look just like me. Barack Obama and his Justice Department pushed racial hoaxes, flamed racial animus all around the country. They didn't unite anyone. Michael Brown, another hoax that they pushed, where Barack Obama's own DOJ went and found that Michael Brown, that the cop was completely and totally justified in the shooting of Michael Brown in St. Louis, but they burned Ferguson, they burned St. Louis to the ground anyway. Barack Obama pushed it all. Here's another hoax that he pushed, saying that there's going to be kids in cages with Trump. Obama built the cages. Watch.
They understand that we can secure our borders without tearing kids away from their parents. Just like we can keep our streets safe while also building trust between law enforcement and the communities they serve and eliminating bias, that will make it better for everybody.
Weird. Very strange. He also talks about, they also talk about abused children, these people, who are like the open borders advocates, creating the largest human trafficking ring in human history. So so this is it. It's amazing how you can actually tell in a man's criticisms, right? You can tell like who a man like spends his time thinking about and obsessing about. You can actually see his own faults, right? It's like a direct reflection. And you can see that in Barack Obama. People are posting this as like the Barack Obama, he got him, Trump line when it comes to crowd sizes. But the reflection is actually far more painful. Barack Obama is the one who is quite upset at the fact that 8 years into his term, he could barely, and you can see it to this very day, Barack Obama can barely draw a crowd anymore. You can see it. I can show you. Here's Barack Obama, very jealous and very upset about crowd sizes for President Trump. Watch.
The people who will decide this election are asking a very simple question. Who will fight for me? Who's thinking about my future, about my children's future, about our future together? One thing is for certain, Donald Trump is not losing sleep over that question. Here's a 78-year-old billionaire who has not stopped whining about his problems since he rode down his golden escalator 9 years ago. It has been a constant stream of gripes and grievances that's actually been getting worse now that he's afraid of losing to Kamala. There's the childish nicknames, the crazy conspiracy theories, this weird obsession with crowd sizes. It just goes on and on.
Obama down bad, man. Obama down bad. The crowd sizes line says so much more about Barack Obama than it does about President Trump. Barack Obama and the entire Democratic Party are horrified at images like this. In a cold and windswept New Jersey beach town, you have 100,000 people rallying for President Trump. We know there's 100,000 people there because you can barely capture them in a single image. You can't. You can read the headlines. Trump blasts Biden as total moron in front of 100,000 in New Jersey. The whole world is laughing at him. 100,000 rally for Trump on the Jersey Shore in a blue state. Incredible. In a blue city. These are the kind of things that make the Obamas so unbelievably nervous about their legacy and so paranoid. They also are such complete and total hypocrites. Just one final thing got to put up. You got to see, this is Barack Obama throwing a birthday party. So he talks about hubris, right? And how Donald Trump is going to, break all the rules and doesn't care about normal people. And here's Barack Obama on his 60th birthday throwing a lavish party for himself in Martha's Vineyard at the height of COVID, at the height of social distancing, and the height of masking, and the height of making sure that your children do not get an education, that you lose your job through vaccine mandates. Here's what Barack Obama was doing. There you go. With some massive goofy necklace. What is that? Let's see. What kind of a necklace is that? Surprised that he didn't wear it last night. So, the man of the people here. Man of the people. Pretty remarkable if you actually go down to street level. Pretty remarkable what you find when you travel to the street level and you ask people, especially people in, let's say, Barack Obama's old neighborhood, down the street from his presidential library. What's life like here? Like, if you go to Southside Chicago, which we did yesterday, and if you go to Obama's presidential library, and then you just drive to the nearest, strip mall, which is exactly what we did, and you start asking people, just get a microphone and start asking people, what do you think about Obama? Would you rather Obama or Trump be president? We did that. I'm amazed that it really is truly remarkable that nobody in the corporate press even thinks to do things like this, but we did, thanks to you, and I deeply appreciate you giving us the power and the ability to go out and do content like this because it's truthful. And you're amazed. My jaw was on the floor and I was speechless by the end of filming in the South Side of Chicago. Here's what we found in Barack Obama's old neighborhood just down the street from the site of his future presidential library. Let's go.
For Trump. I go for Donald Trump. Me too. I go for Trump.
Who are you voting for in 2024?
Trump too.
And why is that, ma'am?
He the best president ever.
Has Barack Obama done anything for around here and these?
He never did anything since he been in office.
Yeah.
And I'm glad he out. Trump,
yeah.
The best.
Barack Obama, man, I ain't got no message to him. I don't mess with Barack Obama.
Yeah.
Nah, I'm a Trump supporter. Trump do more for black people and care more about black people. And Barack Obama ain't black. Just to let that be known.
All right. What about Kamala Harris?
I don't f with her either. Yeah. All Trump all day.
Yeah. What's your message to Donald Trump today?
Keep going. Come get us, man. We waiting on you.
I'm a Trump supporter, man. We gonna keep this going. Trump, he a real businessman. I'm a real Republican, man. I want Trump back in office second term.
What would be your message to Barack Obama?
I don't know, pump some money in here. Pump some money like Trump,
Your message to Donald Trump?
Come on, man, get us to the Super Bowl, bro. Make America great, man. That's all I can say. Make America great.
Everyone's so friendly around here.
Yeah,
everyone's so friendly around here.
Hire me, you need diversity. I go for the interviewing people. Yeah. You supposed to be somewhere chilling.
I need chain game like this. Here we go. Here we go.
What's up, my
Who
guy?
we need up in there? Who we finna let drop a bag in the hood? Who we want to get the bag back going in the hood?
Y'all know we gonna need Trump in that joint. Y'all
You
know
ain't
we
gonna
gonna
find
need
a
Trump
soul
in
around
that
here. Ain't gonna
joint.
take Trump.
Y'all gotta dig what's going on, man.
Yeah, I'm taking over Benny Show, man. It's Odie, man. I'm a YouTuber, man. Y'all get at me, man. But everything Trump over on this side of town.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie to you. You can go everywhere. You see how dry this motherfucker is? We need Trump, boy. Whatever it's gonna do to make this flow back, man. Get it up. Let's get it going immediately, man. Benny, who you going for, Benny?
I'm going for the man with this chain, with that watch, with that ride.
Who is your president?
My president is making America great again, Donald
Okay,
Trump.
I'm going with Trump too. We locked in. That's what I'm talking about, man.
Amazing.
I need the job with you, man.
I love Chicago.
It's my long lost twin, man. Separated at birth, man.
Better tattoos, better style, better hair.
We both good looking though, man. That's all that count, man.
So lots of love.
And a better ride.
Lots of love from the South Side. And so I'm sitting right across from Eric here, who filmed that with me. Eric, did we find a single person that said, yeah, I want Barack Obama to be president again? Well, yeah. He says he didn't even have to edit it. So he didn't have to edit it. I don't know if we pop Eric on screen, but you guys got to hear this directly. You guys got to hear this directly from cameraman who is on site with me. Producer Robbie also there. We didn't get a single. I'm not sure if the audio is gonna. Okay, I'll talk lightly. We didn't get a single person saying I want Kamala or Obama.
Yeah, no, not at all. It was
not one interview.
It was insane. I was not expecting that.
And we stood out there for an hour and we talked with more people than we even see in that video. And they were like, no.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was insane. I just couldn't believe how many people were saying Trump, and then not only said Trump, but were having fun with it.
Like they clearly thought about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's the guy with the diamond watch. He's like, I need the economy to come back. Okay, so amazing times, and something that we weren't expecting to find in Chicago. I got to be perfectly honest with you. When we think through this style of content, what we do is we try to craft questions. I assumed these people liked Barack Obama. I just assumed I'd never been there. I've never been to the south side of Chicago. I wasn't raised here. I live in Florida. I assumed these people liked Barack Obama and that they were going to like say that life was good with Barack Obama. And so I was just going to ask them about life now. We were going to ask about Kamala Harris. But when you walk onto the street and you like, so everyone starts telling us how much they love Donald Trump, you're like, this is incredible. This is a movement. And this is something that like can't get polled, right? Can't be polled. And so it's very important that we are out here in the streets telling those stories. We just filmed yesterday on our cell phone. Our cell phones, of course, Patriot Mobile cell phones. Patriot Mobile keeping us locked and loaded inside of these crazy places that we go. The south side of Chicago was rough, man. There are like a bunch of abandoned houses there. There were some neighborhoods we drove by. O Street, like it looked really dangerous. I'm glad we had devices that kept us connected. And so, you know, it's a very dangerous time. There have been, Alex, how many shootings have there been in Chicago since the start of the DNC? I think there's like 15 people killed in Chicago. 20 people killed in Chicago. So anyway, we were in those neighborhoods yesterday. I'm not trying to speak ill of the wonderful people who came on our show and talked to us and treated us so nicely. But yeah, I mean, they all told us that it's rough around there, right? It's rough, and you can see it from the car window. So we were filming with our Patriot Mobile devices. They kept us connected, safe, secure, and now that content is flying. So thank you, Patriot Mobile. Go to patriotmobile.com/Benny. Call 972-PATRIOT right now for a free month with the offer code Benny. A free month with the offer code Benny. We are locked and loaded out here. I mean, you can go there to Barack Obama's old neighborhood. It's not even his old neighborhood. He has a home not too far from there, and that's where he's putting his presidential library. It's less than a mile from where he's putting his presidential library. We drove right by his presidential library, massive construction site, right? He's building this huge monument to himself. Again, using taxpayer dollars to do it. Donald Trump has the tallest residential building in all of Chicago, used his own money to do it. Barack Obama's building his own tower in Chicago, and it's hated. I mean, it's hideous, by the way. It's hideous. We saw it for ourselves. So anyway, and the residents are upset about it, and they told us that, and they want Trump back. It's amazing. It wasn't just there though, right? So maybe you could say, hey, you know, maybe you're cherry picking. You're going to some place that's like very downtrodden in Chicago. Why don't you go and ask people in like the middle classes or in downtown, and you'll get totally different answers. You're just going to somewhere to try and get a result. Okay, fine. That's what we did too. We went downtown Chicago, stood on the street in the most popular visitor area of Chicago, right there in Millennium Park, where Barack Obama gives his little famous acceptance speech, right, in the 2008 election. So this is like the location where Obama gives his little speech. And we asked people, Kamala Harris or Donald Trump? Just so you know, we're not cherry picking. Let's go. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Trump or Kamala Harris?
Oh, Kamala.
Kamala Harris.
Yeah.
Why?
Well, she's honestly, I don't know.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm not super knowledgeable, so I can't really speak too much on it.
Because Trump sucks ass.
Yeah, pretty much same thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Trump or Kamala Harris?
Oh God, it's Kamala, definitely.
Yes?
1000%.
Yes?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. What's your favorite thing Kamala's done in the last 4 years?
Honestly?
Yeah.
Actually, don't use this.
You don't know what you're talking about, do you?
Do you know who Tim Walz is?
Who is he?
I mean, I'm asking the same question, right?
I've been doing my research lately. Yeah. We finna find out.
We're gonna find out.
Watch, I'm finna stop somebody and ask the same question.
We're gonna find out who Tim Walz is. We're gonna find out.
Wait, I know you.
What?
I know you too.
What? In downtown Chicago.
That's you.
My man, that's it.
Of course it's Kamala. Whoa!
Why Trump and not Kamala?
Trump is a businessman. The country's a business. Plain and simple. Yes. She got the IQ of a shoelace.
Yeah. Trump or Kamala?
Trump 2024. Trump 2024, man.
What's up, guys? Your boy Benny here in front of the Trump Tower in downtown Chicago. Also happening in downtown Chicago right now is the DNC convention. Lots of sirens, lots of cops, lots of police here to protect the convention. They also have some walls and let me in! Let me in! Some extra protection, free vasectomies. But here we go. The question of the day. Trump or Kamala? Kamala. Call me Kamala. whatever you want to call her. Do people in downtown Chicago want communist Kamala? We'll find out today on Benny on the Block. Let's go. Trump or Kamala, what do you think? Yeah.
It's proof in the pudding.
Yeah. What's your favorite thing about the last 4 years that Kamala Harris been vice president?
She wasn't the president. If she was the president, then I could comment on that. But she wasn't the president.
She was vice president, though.
Vice president.
It's pretty powerful. I mean, that's number 2.
It's number 2, but that's not number 1. You can be number 2 is last number 1.
You think you just fell out of a coconut tree?
All sizes, all colors.
We have right here. We have Kamala Harris in her. We have Kamala Harris in her native form, just practicing her speech. Trump or Kamala?
Kamala, of course.
Okay.
I'm running for Senate in South Carolina, and I'm here for the Democratic Convention, so of course it's Kamala.
It's Kamala. Okay.
That's it. All right.
And what's your favorite thing about Kamala?
Because she's a woman. She's a woman.
Yes.
And she's a down-to-earth woman. And she's a woman that can relate, not to just women, but everyone. She's been from the normal life to the life at the White House. So she can touch all lives.
What is a woman?
A woman is phenomenal. A woman is everything that you need her to be. Whoa! All right.
Okay, mind blown. Question of the day, Trump or Kamala? What do we think?
Kamala.
Trump or Kamala?
Kamala.
All right. Good math. Didn't have enough time to ask why. I wonder if they knew who Tim Walz was. What do we think? Trump or Kamala? Trump or Kamala?
Kamala.
What are we thinking? Trump or Kamala, 2024? What do you think?
Not comments.
Trump or Kamala?
Not comments.
Yeah? Trump or Kamala, what do you think, 2024? Trump or Kamala?
Hey, I'm running actually for president.
You're running for president?
The dude is running here.
I saw you on the White Dudes for Harris call.
Well, actually, he doesn't realize I'm dude, he's dude. I'm trying to get him to run with me.
He is running for president. My man. Trump or Kamala Harris?
Oh, Kamala.
Kamala Harris.
Yeah, Kamala.
Why?
Because Trump sucks ass. Am I allowed to cuss?
No, yes, totally.
Okay, yeah, Trump sucks ass.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much same thing.
Trump sucks ass. I think that's actually how you get monkeypox. More importantly, Kamala, why?
I will say, like, I'm not for Trump's agenda for a lot of, like, lawmaking and changing and all that. And I think it would be kind of interesting to see a woman.
Yeah. Has it been selling well?
We just got here.
Has it been selling good? No? Yeah, good?
I hope so. We just got here, so we ain't been here that long.
Who is this guy? Who's the vice president? Do you know this name? Who's this guy? The guy she picked as vice president. Who is that guy?
Oh.
Do you know who Tim Walz is?
Who is he?
Is it? I mean, I'm asking the same question, right?
I've been doing my research lately.
Yeah. Trump or Kamala? What do you think?
Someone is like pro-American.
Yeah.
And if you're American, you should be pro-American. I guess you know who I support.
Trump. Trump, right in downtown Chicago.
I'm not sure to put that out there.
Yeah.
But again, I feel like whoever is going to be president of the United States should be someone's pro-American economy for the United States and protecting the borders. Yeah. And by the way, I'm not American, but America first.
Really?
Yeah.
Where are you from?
I'm Nigerian.
Nigeria?
Yeah.
People from Nigeria love Trump?
Yeah, quite a number of people love Trump because he has some values that, kind of aligns with Nigerians. Things like family core values. I agree with that.
Trump or Kamala, 2024. What do you think? Trump or Kamala?
Trump.
Trump, my man.
Yep, Trump.
All right. Why is that?
We need some changes. Well, the economy. I own restaurants, so everything's up right now, and hopefully, we want the economy to go down and inflation. So
So prices are killing you.
They are.
Yeah,
and that's the main thing.
Yeah,
and it's not just the restaurant industry, everywhere. So
Chicago's finest.
That's so awesome. You guys are awesome.
This is great. Hey, you could. What's going on, homie? How you doing, man? What's going on?
Awesome.
The cops. Hey, you want to be on my show? Sure. Trump or Kamala, 2024. What do you think?
Trump.
Trump.
Absolutely.
Okay, why is that?
Gosh, let me see here. Like, I don't want open borders. I want a good economy, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And I don't want communism.
You don't want communism?
No.
Kamala the commie.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Right.
Trump 2024.
Trump or Kamala, what do you think? You walking around with a MAGA hat in downtown Chicago.
They don't say nothing. Most people around here like it.
Yeah. They're like, what's up?
Then the other ones that Kamala supporters, they wait till about a block away and then they yell something.
People see the hat and they're like, yeah.
Yeah, they like it. Most of them do around here.
That's amazing.
Most people got common sense.
Why Trump and not Kamala?
Trump is a businessman. The country's a business. He needs to be run by a successful businessman. Plain and simple. You know? She got the IQ of a shoelace. Yeah.
Trump or Kamala 2024. What do you think? Trump or Kamala?
Trump, bro.
Trump
all day, bro. Trump 2024, man. He giving money, economy was good, jobs was decent, so.
Trump or Kamala?
Trump.
Yes. Why's that?
Well, you look around.
Yeah, it's rough down here.
It is rough. It is rough.
Trump or Kamala?
Trump. Easy.
Even right here in downtown Chicago?
I live in D.C.
Oh, yeah, okay. Why? Why is my question.
At the end of the day, I'm going to say the same talking points. 4 years we had Trump was a lot better than 4 years we had the Biden administration.
Man, you'd be amazed at how many people told us that today. Okay, so it's been an hour. How's it been selling? Good?
Shit, I don't know. We just had a bunch of police that told us to burn our shirts.
Yo, Chicago, cool. All right. It's a lot of fun here, honestly, and it blows your mind when you stand and actually ask people. Sure, you get some people saying Kamala. I mean, you're gonna get people saying Kamala. It's obviously downtown Chicago is one of the darkest blue Democrat areas in the entire country. But when you ask them why, they don't have anything to say. And you get a ton of people saying Trump. Again, even inside of like the posh, uppity, very touristy sections, very safe sections of downtown Chicago, get a ton of people saying Trump. It's wild. It's crazy. So we've been traveling. We've been doing it all right? We want to make sure that we take and make use of our time here and that we are being effective. I think we're doing a lot. I don't know, ALX. I don't know how many millions, tens of millions probably of views that we've done, our content's done. I think we've been more effective than any lib influencer that has been paid by Kamala to come here. They all get paid. They all come here. We're not getting paid, right? Like, we're here for you. And we're here to support, obviously, you. We're here to tell truth for you. And I think we've been more effective than any DNC fake paid influencer. This makes me really happy. I'm very, very proud of our team. Part of the reason why we can be effective is because we keep our bloodstream packed and filled and slammed with caffeine here in our little Trump cup. But we did travel with our Blackout coffee. Blackout coffee is the black coffee that keeps us powered. I drink my coffee black. I do not put, those are just wasted calories, right? A bunch of milk and sugar. I do not do that with my coffee. I'll have my milk and sugar on other things, right? A bowl of Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Black coffee for me. That's how you know it's good. You can drink Blackout coffee black, and it packs a punch. Let me tell you, we have a high energy team. You have to have the energy to defeat evil, the energy to defeat the demons, defeat communism. You must have the energy, and Blackout Coffee gives us that energy. Go to blackoutcoffee.com/Benny. Use the coupon code Benny for 20% off your first order. Blackoutcoffee.com/Benny. Blackoutcoffee.com/Benny. Be awake, not woke, powering us through in our cool little Trump, out of frame there. And cool little Trump, out of focus, Trump cup. Inside our Blackout Coffee, ladies and gentlemen. Find them on Public Square too, our dear friends on Public Square, and so many other awesome companies. I'm not sure if you can book a Trump hotel on Public Square. I'm not sure about that. Who will be booking time with Trump? Well, probably some people who are working in his administration. Is there an imminent, massive shift that's about to happen inside of the political landscape? Yes, there is. Robert Kennedy Jr., the betting markets are saying that Robert Kennedy Jr. may be dropping out and joining forces with President Trump. Now, this would make a ton of sense. Robert Kennedy Jr.'s vice presidential candidate, her name's Nicole Shanahan. She made a ton of news and then doubled down on Fox News saying, you know what? This is a decision that's imminent. These two guys like each other. They hate the deep state. They want to tear down crony capitalism, and they want success for the American people. They want to get rid of some of these horrible, calcified, atrocious, diseased systems in our nation, and so they have a common cause there. RFK Jr. tweeting out yesterday talking about how he'll work with anybody, right, to fix his core issues and the main issues. Is this possible? RFK Jr. is doing plus 5% in the polls right now. If that were to be added to the Trump column, well, the race is right now, according to all available polling, neck and neck. It's a razor. It's all within the margin of error. Trump, Kamala. If RFK Jr. drops out and joins over, whoa, that's massive. Who would be the correct person to ask about this? Well, of course, Donald Trump Jr., who joins the show live right now. Don, we want to say thank you for allowing us to broadcast here from the incredible Trump Tower in Chicago. I've seen photos of you up on the rooftop here. This is the best hotel in Chicago, and I think the prettiest building in the entire city.
Well, you know, I had a lot of fun building it. That was back before you had to worry about getting shot in the streets of Chicago. Now it's a little different. That was the early 2000s, so it's a great building. I'm glad you're having a good time, Benny.
It's amazing. You can look out at the river. You can look out at downtown here. It's the best studio. The studios in downtown Manhattan have nothing on this. We're already coming up with excuses to come back here and broadcast again from the Trump. It's just awesome. So thank you for building this building, Don.
It's my pleasure.
So
when I used to build buildings, now I do this other crap. Building buildings was easier, a lot less vicious.
So I want to start with the top line. I'm sure you've been tuning into the DNC. Your name, the Trump name, has been said hundreds of times. We have a running ticker. It's been said over 250 times at the DNC by speakers. And the words inflation, economy, and jobs have been said less than 10 times. That really says it all, doesn't it?
Yeah, because they have nothing to run on those issues. They created the inflation. They destroyed our job markets. They destroyed the economy. The regime's own press secretary said there's no light between Kamala Harris and Joe Biden on their policies. And you see that because they literally posted the Joe Biden second term plan on their website when they first started talking about any kind of policy, which they hid from the American public and even the press for the last month. So, you know, the reality is this, Betty, we've seen the projection, the abject insanity, whether it's, you know, Kamala's going to close down the border, she's going to fix inflation. Why didn't you do it now? I mean, I'd argue she's the most powerful vice president in modern American history simply because you have an absentee actual president, not just because, you know, he's, you know, got dementia, but because he spent, you know, 3/4 of his presidency, or at least half his presidency, on the beach in Delaware taking a vacation. So she could have done any of these things. Why wait till January 20th? You know what? If you didn't have the power to do it then, why not start now? Why not sit down with Joe Biden, convince him to do any of these things? And it's because they have no intention of doing it. Like everything else, whether it's student debt, whether it's Title IX, they're trying to buy votes, knowing it'll get overturned later on when it doesn't really matter anymore, but they're buying the American public's votes with the American public's money with no real ability to actually do anything about it. But it doesn't matter because the media is just functioning as their marketing department. I mean, I saw the thing that really shocked me, the thing that was amazing, when you realize just how out of touch they are. I saw a lady, I guess it was yesterday, at the DNC screaming, you know, if Trump wins, he may actually weaponize the DOJ against his political opposition. He may literally have the FBI knocking on their doors. I'm like, I'm waiting. Like, I feel like I'm the star of the Truman Show, Benny. I'm like, someone's messing with me. Like, I am the only guy that's not in on the joke, and I'm being filmed because, like, are you serious? Like, you did that. You sent the hostage rescue team, the FBI's HRT, like the Delta Force, the SEAL Team 6 of federal law enforcement to do like a search warrant at Mar-a-Lago with kill orders. Like, are you serious? We're going to weaponize these things? It's honestly, I don't know if they're, I don't think they even know. I legitimately think they're so blinded. They're so insane. They're so bought into the narrative. And this is where the media comes in, as we've been watching, who won't ask her any questions, who are happy letting her run sort of the Joe Biden 2020, basement campaign. I think they really just don't know.
So last night, Barack Obama and his wife, Michelle, here in Chicago, talked about the grievances of being poor and how tough life is for them.
Did they do that for Martha's Vineyard? Did they call that in, or was it live? I didn't watch it.
And we've been spending the first half of the show talking about how at least there's like this level of authenticity to your father and to your entire family that says like, we built things, we did it in the private sector, and my father's a billionaire. And that's okay. That's actually the American dream. And I remember when Barack Obama wrote his first book, he called your father the American dream, actually. And there's been quite a tone change, but you talk about how the press has been covering up for people. Nobody seems to ask them questions about Hawaii houses, about houses here in multi-million-dollar houses in Chicago, multi-million-dollar houses in California, multi-million-dollar houses in Martha's Vineyard. They're still trotting out the same lines that, we're poor, and we come from, when we're impoverished, and we got to do something to fix it.
Yeah, no, it was shocking. I saw that on Twitter this morning. I didn't watch the speech. I just, there's only so much time. I figure I can get the clips. I don't have to, put myself through. I got enough headaches for the next, 80-something days to have to do that to myself. But, literally, like I saw the clips of Michelle Obama complaining about, my mother said never to trust anyone that has more than their fair share. I'm like, you have 4 homes. Like, you have an $18 million home in Martha's Vineyard. Like, I'm the son of a billionaire. I don't got anywhere near that. Like, compared to, like, I'm like, I don't understand. And again, they sell it like it's real. Like, it's lunacy. Look at the money they got for, the podcast that no one watched. And look at the money for the book tours and for the this, that, and the other. I mean, it doesn't jive with anything. It's just one big payoff scheme. But, they can say it with a straight face, and their people are so brainwashed. They're such lemmings. They're such sheep in the Democrat Party. They're the same people still wearing masks because, monkeypox is breaking out, and that's going to be the next thing. If it's not World War III or nuclear holocaust, that's going to be the excuse to screw around with this election. But, they don't even see the irony in it anymore. It's spectacular.
So we went to Barack Obama's old neighborhood yesterday and asked people, and we were expecting everyone to say something nice about Barack Obama. We went to the South Side. We went to the in the literal shadow of his presidential library. We talked with people and the residents there, and there's a South Side. And it's pretty rough, actually. And there were a couple areas that we really didn't feel safe. We popped out on a street corner and we asked people that I just want to play you the first 20 seconds of this and get your response since you know Chicago so well. Here we go.
For Trump. I go for Donald Trump. Me too. I go for Trump.
Who are you voting for in 2024?
Trump too.
And why is that, ma'am?
He the best president ever.
Has Barack Obama done anything for around here and these?
He never did anything since he been in office.
Yeah.
And I'm glad he out. Trump the best.
Barack Obama? Man, I ain't got no message to say him. I don't mess with Barack Obama.
Yeah.
Nah, I'm a Trump supporter. Trump do more for black people and care more about black people. And Barack Obama ain't black. Just to let that be known.
All right. What about Kamala Harris?
I don't with her either. Yeah. All Trump all day.
Yeah. What's your message to Donald Trump today?
Keep going. Come get us, man. We waiting on you.
I'm a Trump supporter, man. We gonna keep this going. Trump, he a real businessman. I'm a real Republican, man. I want Trump back in office second term.
What would be your message to Barack Obama? Don. On and on and on. Yeah. Dozens of people come up to us to say they want Trump back in Obama's old neighborhood.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me because, Benny, unlike, normal elections where you have politicians just promising something with no real ability, intention, or whatever to deliver, Barack Obama was going to fix the economy. Remember, there's no magic wand for that. Yeah, of course there's not. If you've never done anything in your life other than sort of just assume a higher office because they say, hey, he's got a, good line of crap and we'll just, we like the look and we'll make him president. Trump actually did those things. And so this time around, you're going up against the Biden-Harris administration. So you've had 4 years basically under them, and you had 4 years under Trump, even with COVID. When were you better off? When was it cheaper? I don't do the, Michelle Obama, like, I'm poor. Like, I'm the son of a billionaire from Manhattan. Like, but if I'm pissed off when I go to the grocery store, Benny, what does that say? If I have sticker shock, like, it's not going to affect my purchase. Like, I'm not pretending to be one of these holier-than-thou people. Like, I can't afford McDonald's, but, like, I did. I took Spencer and Donnie to McDonald's. It was the last summer, and I remember because it just stuck into my head. We were coming back from a fishing trip, just father-son. Spencer was like 10 at the time. Donnie was 14, and it was $47. And I'm like, man, like that's a lot. Like for me, it's not going to change what I'm doing. But I'm like, if I'm sitting there, and be like, McDonald's is too expensive. That's insane. hopefully people are waking up, and maybe that's it. Now, they have to install a Kamala Harris because part of their whole "we're going to protect democracy" is actually having people believe that it's not rigged, that they have a chance in voting in these things. So I guess that was part of the coup to throw Joe Biden out, because no one would ever believe that Joe Biden could actually, pull off, what he definitely didn't pull off in 2020. But then at least with COVID and all the nonsense, they could sell it. So they try to flip out that candidate. But that's why we just have to be all in, pedal to the metal, next, 80 days, whatever it is, just get everything in, because what these people plan on doing to America is it's going to make it unrecognizable.
Don, you said pedal to the metal. There's been some pretty remarkable news over the last 24 hours about RFK Jr. saying, Trump's the way, and we may drop out and join the Trump campaign, join forces. Can you please comment on that?
Yeah, listen, I'd love to see it. I know RFK, I know some of that team, don't agree on everything, but I think he'd actually be a great person to put in on certain agencies and just let him go to town, let him blow stuff up, let him fix the stuff. I mean, he's incredibly well-versed on a lot of things, and, understandably, like me and like my family, probably has a gripe with some of the government, and could actually, that's a solid motivation to actually get things done. But it also shows some unity that I'd love to see, on these tickets. Guys that may not agree on everything say, no, we understand the common goal is to prevent communism, socialism from taking over our country. And that is the Kamala Harris, Tim Walz ticket. I mean, there are literally, it's a socialist. They want to put price controls in, and they're going to stop your business, and they're going to make sure that we take your kids away if you don't let them go through transgender surgery without parental consent. It's like, these people are lunatics. And so if you see, that kind of, coming together to fight a common enemy, which is, what I'm concerned, as far as I'm concerned, the biggest threat to democracy. I think RFK probably agrees. I think he said that. Then it was about Biden, but there is no light between Biden and Harris. That's according to their own press secretary, Karine Jean-Pierre, who said there's no light between the policies. So the policies have failed. They're taking us down a bad path. So I think it would be an incredible thing. I'd love to see it.
So RFK Jr. for CIA director, it'd be assassination attempts are a great motivator, actually. Now you and the Trump family and the Kennedy family have common cause with assassination attempts, and the deep state. Hey.
Yeah, listen, I'm still a fairly pissed off son after what happened, but honestly, they have much more of a gripe than I do. At least, my father survived. Miraculously, frankly. I mean, that was divine intervention as far as I'm concerned. I mean, I'm a shooter. I was nationally ranked as a shooter. That's like missing a 2-inch putt. Someone's watching out for him. So I think that was incredible. But it's also incredible that a month later, it's like it never happened. It's being scrubbed from websites. The people that took the picture won't release the picture. They won't let people actually use the picture because that may motivate people because, God forbid you had a strong, powerful leader with resolve and guts and balls, leading our country rather than the campaign of joy. We're not sure why it's joy because, poverty, ridiculous inflation, not being able to afford homes because of interest rates, that doesn't scream joy to me. But, that is the narrative put out by the DNC. Their lackeys in the mainstream media are running with it. It's a campaign of joy, Benny. I don't know what's joyous about it. We haven't seen that. I've seen a lot of misery over the last few years, but we're told joy, and therefore it must be joyous.
So just on a closing note here, RFK Jr. for CIA director. Come on.
Yeah, I like that.
We got Mike Walls right here. We got Mike Walls right here. He's on Intelligence Committee.
How about the FDA? How about HHS? Listen, there's a lot of places you could. There's a lot of places that a guy like that I think could do. Great, or sort of a general, Overwatch. So I could think of a dozen roles I'd love to see him in, and I think it'd be great.
Yeah. All right. Well, that is a way to get the Joe Rogan vote. I got to tell you, man.
But it's not about that. I mean, it's reality. I mean, there are things I probably wouldn't have him do, and there's other things that I would. So. But I think it's important, and I think the biggest thing for me, frankly, is that unity. That people that don't agree on everything, and that's okay. We live in America. You're still actually allowed to do that. You're not allowed to do that if you're a Democrat. If you don't go 100% along with them, you could be the biggest lefty in the world. If you disagree on one point, they'll cancel you so fast your head will spin. Our side, we're actually for that debate. We're willing to have those conversations, and I think that kind of unity Getting those guys together, I think that would show that to the American people. And I think they'd probably understand exactly what's at stake, because those guys, with big egos, with a lot of power, if they can put all those things aside to fight for what's right for this country, I think that says everything we need to know.
My man. Fantastic. Well, the people of Southside Chicago stand with the Trump family and say, get us Trump back.
I love it.
Bring Trump back, man. So onward to Election Day, 70 days away. Don, in closing, your message to the American voters.
Get everyone you know, get them registered, utilize early voting when you can. Just register 100 of your friends. If you know friends in swing states, especially, make sure that happens. But it's not just about the presidency, Betty. To be clear, I don't know that I want to win the presidency if we don't win the House, if we don't win the Senate. I've been there. I've done 50 hours of congressional testimony for treason, a crime punishable by death. That's like my average Tuesday. At this point, I don't need any more of that in my life. So I want to win all these things down ticket. I want to win back school boards so we can stop the indoctrination of our children. I mean, I want to win state legislatures so you can actually set up proper, voting regulations in states where you have paper ballots, where you need ID. I'm watching the stuff in Texas where they're putting illegals through the DMV, giving them a license. They're registering them to vote. Because, as long as they didn't really know it wasn't illegal, the weaklings will just allow them to vote. I mean, this stuff's going on all over the country. We need to bring back some sensibility. We need to bring back common sense and decency, and even the things that some of the radical countries of Europe are like, of course that makes sense. What are you talking about? Only in America can you get away with this kind of nonsense. So everyone has to get involved. Everyone has to partake. Rally it up, because honestly, I think it's the last chance before you have a major problem that you just can't come back from.
We're excited for it. We got Congressman Mike Walz here in the studio.
Waltz with a T.
Right,
with a T for Trump.
That's right.
Tim Walz, let's be clear.
Yeah, Waltz in the studio.
I actually have been to combat. Been to combat. I carried a weapon of war in war.
Weapon of war in war.
Yeah, right. T for Trump in the Waltz.
And on the task force.
Yeah, and on the task force.
Yeah. Don, before you sign off, any lines of investigation for the man on the task force with subpoena power in Congress and a bunch of lawyers to figure out what happened with your father's assassination attempt?
Listen, we speak a lot, so he knows what to do, but we got to figure it out, because listen, this is not one little error. When you look at the compounding error upon error upon error, and then I think it's also a systematic problem. You had a week later, a Secret Service person breaks their post to go breastfeed. I think that's wonderful, but that's what maternity leave is for. You don't do that when you're on guard at the Secret Service. I mean, we're turning into a clown show because of the woke bureaucrats at the top of the food chain. So many of the door kickers, as you know, Benny, you've seen me with them. These are lifelong friends from when I had a detail. They're embarrassed about what's going on, but we have to figure this out, because a sniper could have 20 minutes inside 130 yards with a high-powered rifle of the leading candidate of the opposition party, the nominee for the presidency of the United States at the time, someone leading in the polls. That could happen is not a coincidence. That there's dash cam footage of local law enforcement who does not do protective detail. They don't even know, and it was even obvious to them what was going on, and they're screaming at the Secret Service to fix this mess. What's going on? And that, to me, that's not conspiratorial. That's just a flagrant. It almost has no choice but to be on purpose, because no one makes that many mistakes. There are not that many coincidences. I don't believe that statistical impossibilities happen. It just doesn't work that way.
Hey, Don, I mean, the thing is, this isn't just an incident, now in the past that we have to get to the bottom of. These threats are ongoing, and they're happening right now, and the media just brushing right over that a Pakistani national was just arrested, made down payments on multiple hitmen, were recruiting spotters, were recruiting protesters for a distraction, a sophisticated Iranian plot. And then, we just did a press conference here. Why do the Iranians want to kill your dad so bad?
Yeah, by the way, I think it's the greatest endorsement in political history. If Iran, the world's leading state sponsor of terror, someone who subjects women and children to sexual slavery and blowing up people all over the world, if they hate you and they want to take you out, isn't that the greatest endorsement ever?
It's a badge of honor, but they're currently trying to do it.
Even the Trump endorsement in this case, I'm like, it's good that the fact that the American people don't realize that. Of course, Iran wants a weakling like Kamala Harris in there so they can keep making in enriching uranium so that they can try to take out Israel so that they can profit off of the oil. It's lunacy, and yet it's playing out every day. But what you guys are seeing there at the DNC, what I get to see on TV, although I'm actually 100% in favor for the drive-through vasectomy van for all of the people in attendance at the DNC. I think that's actually a great start. I will happily contribute in large sums of my own personal money to make sure that radical liberals get vasectomies. I'm fine with this. So sign me up if they're willing to keep doing it. I will pay.
Yeah,
I know. I've heard people criticizing him. Like, what's wrong with it? Go for it.
The problem that I've found as we've been here for 4 days is that I don't think any of these guys have balls in the first place.
Yeah, that's fine, but let's just make sure that miraculously they don't drop somehow in their mid-30s and they start procreating. That would be scary.
Well, that'll be a new scientific study. It must be funded by RFK when he's in charge of the FDA. Maybe exactly. I could see him FDA, CDC, CIA, FBI.
There's a lot of places, or like some sort of oversight role over all of those, sort of weeding out the corruption, weeding out the waste in there. And I love the notion of Elon saying that he'd be willing to do that and come in there. Like, imagine like a technical mind like that, really just cutting through the bureaucracy and the waste. I mean, I'd say we'd save trillions of dollars. I mean, trillions of dollars.
Yep.
No one in DC wants that because they all profiteer off of that. Most of them would be incapable of surviving in the private sector. They wouldn't be able to do that, but they're good at being bureaucrats. It's like Fauci. Fauci was never a great doctor. He was never the best at anything medical. He was a good bureaucrat. He was better at getting himself on camera. He was better at snaking someone who had a good idea, making it his own, or making sure if it was a good idea that went contrary to his thing, that it never got funding. He was a great bureaucrat, terrible doctor. He hasn't been right in 35 years.
Congressman, how furious would your colleagues be if Elon Musk had some oversight over congressional spending?
No, it actually, there's actually precedent. Eisenhower brought folks in. I mean, there's Kennedy actually brought folks in from the business sector and said, start calling the fat. How about, I don't know, I'd like to put him in charge of auditing the Pentagon, which to this day, the Pentagon can't pass an audit. I mean, there's a lot of places to go. The Pentagon has a business and an innovation board, making recommendations to the SecDef, send them right over to, and I think Don's right. We got to have all three. I mean, we've just got to have all three, House, Senate, and the White House. Make those recommendations of exactly what he would do, $800 billion budget, and let's roll.
I think AOC would be the angriest at all of this, and she drives a Tesla. So it'd be interesting days in DC. Yeah. Come on, Don, let's bring it home, baby.
Let's go.
Let's do it.
Hey, look, I know this, Don, but the Pentagon, we've got a clean house. We have got to start firing people for the recruiting crisis, the readiness crisis, the most expensive weapon system in world history, the Joint Strike Fighter. You know its readiness full mission capable rate? 29%.
For the military?
Yeah.
29% for the Joint Strike Fighter. The most expensive weapon system ever in the history of the world. 29% of them work. That's not classified. I don't like to advertise it.
I have a buddy that flies F-35s, and the stories he tells me about the waste in those programs. I mean, he's just like, man, you could literally have the Air Force ready, up, and capable for 25% of what they currently spend, and yet it's just all waste. And it just billions upon billions upon billions, and you have 35% readiness. It's miraculous. And the people who are actually doing the flying, the people who get it, the guys that are the highly trained people, they see it, and it would be so easily fixed if it were not for the bureaucrats who, they get their board seat at Raytheon or Lockheed Martin.
Nobody's ever fired.
We'll keep paying more for it. It doesn't matter if it doesn't work. Well, just give me my board seat in a year or two when I retire. That's my retirement plan.
No one is ever fired. There is no accountability. And you have a culture there. They're obsessed with making the handmade, bespoke Ferrari. Sometimes you just need a fleet of pickup trucks, right? That, I don't know, a 19-year-old mechanic can actually work on and get ready to go. But you're over there. Hey, let's do it, Don.
Don, I know you're over time. We deeply appreciate you on the program, and look forward to seeing you on the trail, man.
Likewise, guys. Have a good one. Look forward to seeing you soon.
Thanks for this beautiful building.
Enjoy it, guys. Enjoy it. Have fun.
All right. Later, Don. Uh-oh. All right. Well, we'll
I was gonna
find out if Don had an important message, producers, and we will repeat it on the show. Our apologies to Don.
The pillows are great.
No, the pillows are great. Mike Lindell's here, too, so don't tell that to Mike Lindell. I don't think they're my pillows, but anyway, love Mike. Picking up from the Trump assassination, Don obviously, I think he has a little bit of a personal vendetta here.
As he should.
A little upset about what's going on. You were on our program a week and a half ago talking about this task force. Has there been any movement on the task force? We've some pretty alarming things out of your colleague Clay Higgins, who has a law enforcement background, and said, oh yeah, they incinerated the body. They got rid of all physical evidence. That, to me, and they did it on the day that your task force was set up. Boy, that seems strangely suspicious.
I don't believe in conspiracy theories, but I don't believe in coincidences. I don't know, right?
Yeah.
So that's one. Two, I haven't had a chance to talk to Clay about his findings, but that local law enforcement took the first shot, even though they didn't have the best shot, just to suppress the guy before the Secret Service. So why was the counter sniper looking at him so damn long? This was after the deputy director and the director said he was in full defilade, meaning he was on that reverse slope. We couldn't see him until he popped his head up. When video comes out the next day that he's running parallel down the roof. We do have an FBI briefing today. I have been very focused on why a 19-year-old nerd who's like a health aide has 3 encrypted platforms in 3 different countries.
Yes.
I mean, there's encrypted platforms, but most of them, WhatsApp, Signal, what have you, are based here in the United States. Pretty easy for law enforcement to go get a legal, judicial subpoena and then get into those things. But in foreign countries, much more difficult because now you have to work through our embassy to deal with their law enforcement and their judicial system. Why did he have one in New Zealand, Belgium, and Germany? And what were they all about? Were money moving through them? Was he communicating with someone? I'm still not convinced he acted alone. Why did the director of the Secret Service and DHS come right out? I mean, she hadn't even been there and said, no, we think he acted alone. Why was an ATF agent the first on the scene in his room? And what was kind of that all about? So, and I don't have a lot more to tell you except that the task force is going to be on the ground Monday as a task force. They're staffing up with lawyers and starting to gin up the subpoenas. Unfortunately, those take time because everything in Washington's a process, and we've got the FBI briefing today.
Oh, Congressman, I apologize. I should congratulate you on your victory yesterday in the Florida primary.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you. People's House, we're on the ballot every other year.
That's right.
But look, I think that's a healthy thing. I mean, look, you're either campaigning, just got done campaigning, or starting to campaign. But if you go back to our founding fathers, electoral college for the president, 4 years, it was actually state legislatures that elected the Senate until the 1930s. The House of Representatives is closest to the will of the people. The directly elected every 2 years, federal, aspect of their federal government, and hire or fire us.
I don't want to spend the entire time talking about Thomas Crooks, but since you did bring up that you're going to get an FBI briefing today, perhaps you could ask them how he wasn't flagged for searching about roadside bombs, about pipe bombs. How do you do that? Right? Like I'm telling you, don't do that. Don't, because that's a number one way that you'll go to jail for the rest of your life.
Right.
You have served in war. Presumably you've seen roadside bombs. Yep. You've most likely you've seen the devastation.
Suffered on the bad end of them.
That's right. And so these are dangerous things. I know there are different classifications of bombs. How did he have 3? How did this guy with no military training get 3 bombs?
And had the detonator on his body.
Sure.
So
you can't just search these things, right? Like,
and how do we just at this point? I mean, this is taking a step back, and this is the point I was trying to make to Don Jr. There are ongoing threats right now as we speak, both domestic and international, which is totally unprecedented. We've never had an adversary openly talking about plotting and planning to kill a former president or acting candidate of the United States with 0 consequences from this administration. None. Not even a strongly worded knock it off.
They haven't even talked about it at the DNC. Not once has the assassination been mentioned.
So this isn't just an isolated incident where clearly things went wrong. There are systemic problems that have him, in a very vulnerable position right now as we speak. And what's he doing? God bless the man. He's doing an outdoor rally today. Wow. Today. So the people that were responsible haven't been suspended. They haven't been even laterally transferred. They're still in the system.
I can't get my head around the whole roadside bomb thing, though. And since you've seen them, I'm not sure if you've ever been a victim of one. I'm not exactly certain, but I'm sure you've experienced them since you were deployed multiple times.
Yes,
to
I
war
was not
zones.
personally wounded. I don't want to overstate,
of course,
anything on my service. But unlike
this was ubiquitous. These bombs were all over the place,
going off
right?
all over the time.
So state actors training militia to create roadside bombs in war zones. These are not things you can just Google search here stateside. You can't just go find a way to make one. You have to have some type of training.
But do you know the #1 purveyor and trainer of roadside bombs and the most lethal roadside bombs? Iran. Over 600 American soldiers died in Iraq at the hands of Iranian-made, and then they would actually go in and train the militias on how to use them.
So how didn't the FBI ensnare digitally somebody?
Great question.
Building 3 different, what I believe are, they could have blown up.
Yeah,
I
so
think
we
that
don't
they
know
were
if he intended
operational,
to send that car into the crowd.
Operational
if he intended,
devices, yeah.
As a, after he had taken the shot to facilitate his escape, or what?
How'd he do it?
Exactly.
Yeah. I hope you get to the bottom of that.
Me too.
And how our federal agencies didn't flag the guy, or who was his handler, who was teaching him those things. This is not like common knowledge for a 20-year-old.
Yeah.
Okay. It seems to be the biggest smoking gun, for lack of a better term. Yeah. In all of this. Well, all right, great. If you want me to tune into your FBI briefing later today, I'd be happy to do it.
Sure, they'd be thrilled.
So you're here in the DNC in Chicago. I did want to give you an opportunity, just at a press conference, an opportunity to talk about the city of Chicago, the DNC convention. How's it been going? I'm sure you've been watching. Your takeaways.
Well, one, I want to again take a step back. What was happening this week, and actually today, 3 years ago, the disgraceful, despicable stain on our national conscience that was how that withdrawal was done from Afghanistan. This week, three years ago, we had Biden and Harris standing before the world saying, "What do you mean? This is an outstanding success. We have less than 100 Americans that want to get out, that can't get out." That number, by the way, was quietly revised to over 800 Americans that they left behind. 150,000 of our allies that stood and fought and were willing to die with us against the terrorism were left behind, and they're being hunted down by the Taliban as we speak. Here's something the media never talks about. There's 3 Americans being held hostage by the Taliban in Kabul right now, at the same time that we send them billions in aid. I mean, Harris and Biden wouldn't know leverage if it smacked them upside the head. We're literally sending billions in taxpayer dollars to an organization that's hunting down our allies and holding Americans hostage as we speak. And they were also saying, "What are you talking about? Al-Qaeda's done. We're fine." Al-Qaeda is back. ISIS is back. They have dozens of training camps. They've thwarted over half a dozen plots in Europe. 8 ISIS operatives arrested here in the United States in 3 different cities that came across our southern border. I mean, essentially, these 2 idiots, Biden and Harris, facilitated Osama bin Laden's dream, which was a caliphate with an international airport and billions now in American military equipment that they just paraded just a few days ago on the 3rd anniversary. That was all American armored vehicles, American Black Hawk helicopters, all bought by you all. That now are, and then we just signed, just real quick, we just signed a letter today with 50 other House veterans telling Walz, you got to come clean.
There's the letter right now.
It's three key pieces here. One, he lied about his rank over and over and over again. And it's kind of the equivalent. A lot of people are like, master sergeant, command sergeant major. What's the big deal? You don't go to Yale, take a couple of classes, and then run around and say, "I graduated from Yale." You don't, he, in fairness, served as a sergeant major for a few months, but he didn't do the training and the service necessary to keep that rank. He was demoted back to Master Sergeant. This is a huge deal in the enlisted ranks. It would be like me saying I retired as a general when in fact I retired as a colonel. So he's got that. He walked away from his men before a deployment. He absolutely knew. The mainstream media is saying, no, he retired before they got the official order. You know, unofficially, at least a year in advance. I've never seen it known less than a year in advance, because you got to do the extra training. You need the ammunition, you need the ranges, and you need to tell your employer. You don't just disappear. A whole National Guard unit doesn't just go poof in a matter of a month. He knew. His commanding officer has said he knew. The guy who replaced him has been on national television saying that he knew. He did it for political gain, and now he's exaggerating for political gain. And then he has sat there through interview after interview, Nancy Pelosi introducing him at events and what have you as a combat veteran, and he never corrected anyone. He implied it. He let it be said. He even stood on the 20th anniversary as governor of 9/11 before a bunch of Gold Star families and said, I stood at Bagram Air Base in Afghanistan and watched flag draped coffins, get loaded onto planes. The guy's a fraud, and the veterans community is not going to let him get away with it.
Here's a photo of you in Afghanistan, actually. So this has got to be something that has some real personal feelings to it, this anniversary, and then also now seeing this stolen valor fraud running with the woman who claims that Afghanistan was her idea. That pullout was her idea. She was very proud of it.
Very proud of it.
They shoved it into the press. Kamala was behind all that.
She was so eager to show that she was in the room too, that she was a big deal, that she was part of these critical decisions, and patting herself on the back. Well, she owns it. She owns it. We're not going to let her get away with it.
So with this image up here on the screen, what's your message to Tim Walz tonight, who will be speaking at the DNC?
Look, we're not buying into what the media is saying of criticizing your service or criticizing other service. They're conflating those issues. I know a lot of people in the National Guard that have served for one reason or another. Maybe they didn't ever go to combat. Fine. Thank you. But if you're proud of your service, stop lying about it. Own up that you've lied about it. Don't exaggerate it, because it's an insult to everybody who has been in combat, and it's an insult to every service member who did what it took to retire at the highest rank in the enlisted ranks, which is Command Sergeant Major. So look, just come clean. And media, actually ask them the questions. Yeah.
You think it's disqualifying? I mean, I had a lot of veterans blowing up my phone. Like they're angry about this.
Absolutely. I mean, he's going to be a heartbeat away from the commander in chief.
Yes.
Right. And I guarantee you, with all the progressives and communists she's going to surround herself with, that he'll probably be the only one with any military experience at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Look, and it's no surprise this was her first big decision.
Yeah.
I love Comrade Kamala, though, by the way. I've told the president and everybody else. I mean,
Kamala.
At least the one thing, the one policy she rolled out, price controls.
Yeah.
Here's the other irony, Biddy, really quick. She was tasked with, even if you buy their retelling of her border responsibility, she's tasked with understanding root causes. The number one root cause of migration from South Central America, from the number one country that is sending people north, is a dictatorship in Maduro that has price controls over every element of the Venezuelan economy. So if she was really serious about understanding root causes, the very thing she just proposed to do to the U.S. economy is what's causing people to flee, what was the most prosperous country in South America, which was Venezuela.
Yeah.
I mean, there's story after story of Venezuelan farmers having to throw their crop away because there wasn't enough fuel for the trucks to take it to market because of price controls. And people are starving as a result of it. That's a taste of the future under Comrade Kamala.
I like Comrade Kamala, Commie Kamala. Both of them I approve of. Getting us through to the election, Congressman, you're such a strong ally of the Trumps. You obviously know them very well. You're going to be hitting the trail. You're here to speak at the Trump Tower on behalf of the campaign. and on behalf of the Republican Party. I don't think people are buying it. The longer the DNC convention goes on, the more Kamala Harris sinks in the polls, the more people see of what they have in store, the more their numbers are destroyed. Get us through the next 70 days.
Well, look, I think they're gonna get through this week, and then the real campaign is going to kick off. I think the challenge for the Trump campaign is to tease her out. I don't know about you. I'm in the more debates, the merrier camp. I think as many as possible, just let her speak. That's it. Just let her speak. And this whole veneer that the media, the whole shine that the media has put on her is going to come through. I think the more the president just talks about what he did to make people's lives better and what he's going to do again to make people's lives better, the common sense of how to reestablish deterrence and peace around the world, you deal with Iran as he did by dealing with China. He told China, if you keep buying Iranian oil and gas, you can't buy from us. And you know what? The Chinese stopped. Iran's accounts dried up. Hezbollah, Houthi, Hamas's accounts dried up. And then we had the Abraham Peace Accords. I mean, not to oversimplify it, but it really is. It's all about the money.
Yes.
That's all these dictators care about is power and money. And President Trump knows that. And he also knows, yes, we've got to have a powerful military, but our real power is our economy. And so talking about on day one, unleashing American energy, which drives down prices here at home, which drives down inflation here at home, and dries up Putin and Iran's war machine, just with unleashing American oil and gas and securing our border on day one, that alone it will solve so much of what we're suffering through here. But I love how Don Jr. said it. Like, what's the joy right now? What's the joy in Chicago with an educational system that's defunct? By the way, where did the $150 billion from the American Rescue Plan, the $1.9 trillion COVID package that went into schools, where did that go?
Clearly not around here,
it, right?
We've been walking the streets all week, and nobody's excited for Kamala Harris.
The budget of the entire United States Army for a year that went into schools, not buying stealth fighters or tanks or whatever. Where is it? And where's the results for our kids?
Yeah, probably the medicine cabinet of Randy Weingarten. That lady's fritzed. She's crazy. You ever seen her speeches?
Did you see the one? Yeah, that she just did.
Looked like a jack in the box.
They should be ashamed of themselves. So, we know it works. We have a unique time in history where we have a former president, first time in 130 years, that can say what he did compared to what happened in the last in the last four. But we've got a challenge in our hands with the media. I mean, we really do. I mean, the fact that they're restricting media from getting into the DNC and replacing them with paid influencers. They're producing a movie out there, not actually running a campaign that's going to solve problems. That's going to be our challenge, is teasing that out.
Yeah, but they're not good at making movies anymore either. So,
movies kind of suck.
Yeah, that's right. Movies kind of suck.
They really do.
That's right.
I know, you can't find one.
So Hollywood ain't even good anymore. So hey, I think we got the wind at our back. Thank you, Congressman.
Appreciate you.
Godspeed.
I mean, I'll tell you though, I am worried. I am really worried about the next 5 months. Yeah. I mean, I'm on the Intelligence Committee. Our adversaries are licking their chops right now. They know the lights are off with Biden. Nobody's in charge, and it is get what they can while they can between now and when they may face another Trump presidency. And it is a dangerous, dangerous time.
We'll give the FBI hell later today and
We'll
go
do.
find the truth. And yeah, we're fighting with you.
All right. See you
Thank you,
soon.
Congressman.
Yeah.
All
Thanks.
right. Ladies and gentlemen, what a week, man. What a great week. So many incredible patriots and fighters rolling through. Byron Donalds, Rick Scott, members from Florida, actually. Pretty awesome. Florida standing strong here in the state of Illinois. And the great Mike Waltz, who just won his race yesterday. I don't think it was even a competition. And again, Florida standing strong. You got real leaders. You got real fighters. And we're here in Chicago. We are, going to see if there's any news that breaks in the coming hours about this RFK Jr. dropout. I think that'll be pretty massive. Either way, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna be locked in and ready to fight and ready to go. We got some pretty exciting things planned for through the November election. Team no sleep, team grind forever. That's what we are going to be. If you've noticed, also in the markets, we mentioned at the top of the show, the federal numbers are fake. They revised down 1 million jobs. They said that Joe Biden and the Joe Biden economy created 1 million jobs that they didn't create. It's fake. These numbers are fake. This is time. The American dollar is actually fake, right? What's it backed by? It's time, ladies and gentlemen, for you to potentially consider a little bit of diversification into gold. We've been talking about gold for a while. Some people laugh at us. Dude, gold has hit all-time highs right now. Go with my friends at Allegiance. My friends at Allegiance Gold will take care of you, make sure that you are invested in something that has withstood the test of time. We're here at the Trump Tower. There's quite a bit of gold here as well. There's a reason why Trump puts gold on his building. Invest with my friends at Allegiance. Go to protectwithbenny.com today. Call 844-66-BENNY. Right now, get up to $5,000 in free silver with a qualifying purchase. Do not be fooled by inflated stocks and fake numbers from the Fed. Make sure that you're going with something that stands the test of time. And man, if you got crazy, wild times and you got war afoot, these are the commodities that actually hit. Okay? Protectwithbenny.com today. Ladies and gentlemen, we out here. If you support our work, please become a member. If you support our work and our channel, we are grinding, hustling, and man, we've been producing like original content every hour out here at the DNC. Nobody's going to outwork us. And we are going to be salt and light. And that is what that is what we say we do on this program, and we are going to deliver. So if you wish to support our mission and our work here, there are many ways that you can. Signing up for the Benny Brigade at BennyJohnson.com is a helpful one. Joining our members. We just open up memberships on YouTube. And I don't know. We haven't made a decision if we're going to be live later tonight. It's not going to be a really boring. It's going to be Tim Walz's night. So I'm not sure. I don't know. We'll announce on social media what our programming is. We may have our own credential to the DNC convention tonight. So we might go do that and mess around there and see what we can stir up. So to be determined, but something that is not to be determined is our victory in our Lord Jesus Christ. That's already set. We already have the victory, ladies and gentlemen. Now all we have to do is be good soldiers. 1 Peter, our verse of the day. For it is God's will that by doing good you should silence the ignorant talk of foolish people. Live as free people. Do not use your freedom to cover up for evil. Profound verse. Live as free people. That's what we wish to do on this program. And we are using our freedom for salt and light even here in the darkness of downtown Chicago during the DNC convention. A beacon of light, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us, and thank you for supporting us. It's your boy, Benny. We out here. See ya.
Hey, hey, guess what day? Guess what? Guess what? Trump's engine is running. His leaf blower is blowing. In Kamala's blow, it's stunning. You can still hear her complaining and cackling. Whoa, whoa. Hey, hey, guess what day? Everything will be okay. Guess what day? What day it is? It's hump day. Get it on. Hump day. Whoa, whoa. The biggest ships in the sea, all owned by the oldest kings, and their dying legacy, media dillweeds. Soon will the Benny Show come to mind, the salt from lives for fun. Leave the gold and bring the gun. We sail for #1. we show. Come to mine, assault from lids for fun. Leave the gold and bring the gun. We sail for #1. The biggest ships in the sea, all owned by the oldest king.